The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man! Woo!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729288. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729288. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the World Heavyweight Champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here.
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
without a doubt is the most talked about WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony that there has ever been, and it has everything to do with Sting going in the Hall of Fame as the biggest inductee that we will see this year. So because Sting is the biggest inductee we will see this year, nobody should overshadow the induction of Sting, because this night really belongs to Sting and always has belonged to Sting, because we've waited over 15 years for Sting to go in the Hall of Fame. I am a really big fan of Sting. I have never denied that. When Sting first showed up on WWE, I said, this is freaking awesome. This is something that should have happened years ago. And after having waited over 15 years to see Sting wrestle for WWE and going in the Hall of Fame, a Hall of Fame that was really built for someone like Sting, how should this be overshadowed by an induction of Daniel Bryan, which comes as a rumor from Daniel Bryan's retirement weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and a lot of people feeling that Daniel Bryan deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. Not to say that he doesn't deserve to go in the Hall of Fame. Don't take this in the way of a critical review. But the thing is, there are a lot of years up and coming that Daniel Bryan could be your headliner going in the Hall of Fame even for WrestleMania 33 next year. And I don't think this really should be stolen from someone like Sting, who has waited for forever to go in the Hall of Fame. And I'm really excited, especially to hear Sting's induction speech, what he's going to say about going in the Hall of Fame and who's going to be inducting Sting in the Hall of Fame. So why should all of this all of a sudden be overshadowed by Daniel Bryan, who was really coming from out of nowhere and blindsiding us all with his retirement and really stealing the limelight from people like Sting and The Godfather, who have waited for forever on their Hall of Fame inductions? It's really cool that names like Sting and The Godfather are going in the Hall of Fame. So why should these honors be stolen from them by people like Daniel Bryan, who really have done nothing to people like Sting and The Godfather, who really there's no comparison to? When you compare a career like Sting and Daniel Bryan spent 10 of those 15 years on the independent level. Yeah, Daniel Bryan worked really hard to get to the major level of professional wrestling in the WWE. He was trained by Shawn Michaels, and probably Shawn Michaels and Triple H feel that Daniel Bryan belongs in the Hall of Fame. But here's how I look at it from the point of view of a wrestling journalist. It will happen one day, and it doesn't need to happen today. Because it will happen one day does not mean that it needs to happen today, because we have people like Sting going in the Hall of Fame, and Sting is the reason why the Hall of Fame induction ceremony's tickets went on sale a number of months ago, and why the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for 2016 is sold out, along with other names that are joining Sting on the stage. And with a list of people who will be presenting these wrestlers with their Hall of Fame induction plaques and their Hall of Fame rings, including the likes of the APA, I mean, why should Daniel Bryan fit in on this? I mean, Daniel Bryan is not even a legend. He will be a future legend one day, but if you were to put Daniel Bryan in the Hall of Fame over someone like Sting as your headliner, pretty much this will be happening sooner than anyone else who was ever given the honor and prestige of being inducted in the Hall of Fame. Even the likes of names like Eddie Guerrero, who outperformed Daniel Bryan in more ways than one to get in the Hall of Fame. And because they worked years to go in the Hall of Fame, here comes little Daniel Bryan after 5 or 6 years, and he's in the Hall of Fame because of an injury that forced him to retire. I mean, how many names have been forced to retire because of injury? I mean, I can understand Edge going in the Hall of Fame the year after he announced his retirement, because Edge at that point in his career had established his name and really had a legacy established for himself in professional wrestling of years. I mean, Edge was wrestling ever since 1996 in the Cops Coliseum in Ontario. I remember seeing some of Edge's earlier matches in the earlier stages of his career. So you can kind of get away with doing what you did for Edge, but you can't get away with doing this for Daniel Bryan. So I think this induction for Daniel Bryan is something that will happen. It just won't happen today or as soon as a lot of wrestling fans probably want to see it happening. Now, it would surprise me if WWE did announce that Daniel Bryan was going in the Hall of Fame and say Connor's father inducted Daniel Bryan in the Hall of Fame, and that's where I'll be really pissed off over Daniel Bryan going in the Hall of Fame. Not to say that he doesn't deserve to go in the Hall of Fame, but the thing is, I mean, it would be happening way too soon over an induction like someone like Sting, especially when you can have a big name inducting Sting in the Hall of Fame, and you can hear Sting's induction speech as the highlight of the night, which really, to me, really steals the show this year for WrestleMania. You can have anything happen at the actual WrestleMania pay-per-view the night after, and I don't think anything is going to overshadow the induction of Sting. And I'm also really looking forward to not only hearing Sting's induction speech and finding out who's going to be inducting him and what Sting's going to say, but I'm also looking forward to seeing Sting sharing the stage the night of the WrestleMania show when the Hall of Fame inductees are brought out on the stage, and to find out, in fact, if Sting will be involved in the actual WrestleMania pay-per-view this year, because I still believe the day that has not yet been seen by us that we have seen the last of Sting wrestling
in a WWE ring, because I think there are so many names that Sting still has yet to create with as a performer in the ring. I mean, especially when we haven't seen Sting create with the likes of John Cena, Randy Orton, and so many names before. I think there still is the chance we could be seeing Sting having a few more matches at least before he calls it quits and hangs up his boots as a full-time performer. Yeah, at 60 years of age, you would expect Sting to have retired long before now, and probably this is the first indication that Sting will eventually be retiring, but I think that we haven't seen the last of Sting wrestling in a WWE ring, especially with how many wrestling fans out there still want to see this Undertaker-Sting match, which I would go for seeing any day over the matches we have this year at WrestleMania. Man, oh man, I didn't think for 1 minute we'd see Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. This looks really horrible on a pay-per-view card, and especially with how this could be your main event of WrestleMania 32, given the stipulation of control of Monday Night Raw being on the line for Shane McMahon defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and next to that you have Triple H and Roman Reigns. You have a WrestleMania basically being headlined by the McMahons, which is why I still believe we haven't seen the last day of Sting wrestling in a WWE ring, and this is it for Sting. I refuse to believe, with his neck injury and everything, that Sting is